Hello everyone, my name is Christine Bailey and I'm going to show you today how to make a really fabulous cheesecake. It's a raw berry swirl cheesecake, and I'm actually using cherries in this one, but you could use any berries that you have to hand. And raw cheesecakes are just great because they're ideal for sort of preparing ahead of time, keeping in the fridge or even the freezer, making it a really useful, instant, indulgent but healthy treat. So let's show you what to do. First of all, we're going to do the base, and the base is really made out of nuts. Now you can choose any nuts you want. I'm going to use a mixture here of walnuts and almonds, and the recipe is on my website, that's christinebailey.co.uk. Put the base nuts into a food processor or something like a high-speed blender, and just process those off so they're nice and fine. And when they're nice and fine like that, then add your dried fruit. Now you could use raisins, you could use goji berries, you could use dates, anything that's quite soft that will blend up. And what this is going to do is just bind up the nuts so we form a nice sticky dough. So we're going to put those in. And as they start to combine, we're going to add a spoonful of coconut oil. You can also just use a little bit of lemon juice or orange juice or water, just really to bind it together. So probably about a tablespoon of coconut butter, and we'll just blend that. And that's great. So what you're looking for is the mixture to start combining together. So if you squeeze it in your hands, it will form a nice dough that will combine. We're going to put it into a loose bottom. I use a springform cake tin. This is around about 8 inches or probably about 20 centimetres. And the best thing really is with your hands, just press it into the base of the dough of the tin, and that's then going to be chilled while you make the filling, and that really just needs, you know, a few minutes in the fridge just to firm up, so that we have a nice stiff base. And again, you could use any nuts that you want. I quite like pecan nuts as well. I've chosen walnuts today just because they are higher in omega-3 fats, so it's making a much more sort of higher nutritional contribution. So if I just show you what that's like, so you're just really forming a base like you would a sort of traditional cheesecake, which might be, for example, biscuits. So that's the base done. You would ideally then chill that for around about 5 minutes or so. But we're going to make the filling now, and the filling is so easy. What I like to do is swirl a little bit of the cherry or the berry mixture on the top. And to do that, the first thing you need to do is get your cherries. Now I'm using frozen pitted cherries. They're easy, they're cheap, they're convenient. And they've just been defrosted. And I'm going to blend those up first, just on their own, so that they are nice and smooth. And what we're going to do is take a small amount of that puree, set it aside, ready to do the swirl. So you're just really looking for a lovely sort of thin berry mixture. And that's going, you really only need a few spoonfuls for the swirl. The rest of it you're going to keep in the actual food processor or high-speed blender, and we're then going to process the rest of the ingredients with it. So that's about 3 or 4 tablespoons, that's enough. Now to get the creamy texture, what we're going to use is cashew nuts. They are nice and mild in flavour and are great for creating a creamy texture. They're going to go in. We're then going to add some lemon juice. If you wanted it slightly sweeter, then you could use orange. This is around about the juice of 3 lemons, and for extra flavour you could also include the zest as well. We're then going to sweeten it slightly. Now I'm using xylitol, partly because that is a low glycemic sweetener. It will not cause problems with blood sugar. You could, if you want, use liquid coconut syrup or maple syrup or Manuka honey if you didn't want it vegan. But I prefer just to keep the sugar content as low as possible. Now, blend that up. Once it starts coming together, we're then going to add the ingredient that will cause it to set, and this is a combination of cacao butter and also coconut oil. So the two are going to go in. You just really need to melt that, just so it's easier to combine. And then just a little bit of pure vanilla extract. And that's all the ingredients. Then you need to just blend that until it's lovely and smooth. That's the main part of the filling. And what we're going to do is we're going to just simply pour it over our base. Now the base ideally would have been chilling, and we're just going to pour over the base. You can see it's a lovely sort of crimson pink colour. And the great thing about this is that you don't have to have a high-speed blender. This will work just as well in a standard food processor as well. So once that's done, then just spread it over the base, and the coconut oil and the cacao butter, when it goes into the fridge, it will set nice and firm, so you get a really stiff filling. So it doesn't have to be frozen like some cheesecakes. This will actually set quite nicely in the fridge. And then, if you want to create a swirl, the best thing to do is just get your spoonful of the puree and drop it into little blobs over the cheesecake. And then with a skewer, or it could be a spoon, just simply swirl it around. So you're just really going to create a nice patterned filling. And then that will set probably after about a couple of hours in the fridge. So that's our cheesecake. And just to show you, when you've had about 2 or 3 hours, this is what it looks like. It's a lovely, creamy textured cheesecake with a lovely swirl on the top. So you can get the recipe from my website, christinebailey.co.uk, and enjoy.